Whoever is the person who said, oh, you know what we need to show? The full clip needs to be fired.
No, they all need to be fired.
They need to be fired. It was so tone deaf.
Yeah.
It fell. The clip absolutely failed. They was eating popcorn. I was eating popcorn.
First of all, y'all, they're eating during the goddamn...
Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Hello, welcome back to our channel. Thank you so much for joining us again. I'm your girl Intisar Eleanor, and this is my beautiful husband Joseph, and we are back and we are talking all things Love Island USA. We watched the Love Island USA reunion.
It was terrible. It was the worst reunion of any reality show I've ever seen.
So I want to start, because I'm the biggest hater. So I really got to, and y'all not going to make me feel bad for being a hater, because the truth of the matter is that haters get a bad rap. And I be having some real shit to say. Y'all are going to have to get me to understand Ariana's trajectory. Love Ariana I really like her. This is the host. But she do not host. The most talking she did the entire reunion was when she introduced
the intro. Yes,
that was she probably said 6 sentences there and then no sentences throughout.
And she was on camera doing so much B-roll. She did more B-roll through the streets of New York City than she did. I mean, that was the most I've seen her on camera the entire season.
I don't. But then New York, we were just in Fiji.
I just don't get it. It was focused on all the wrong things. New York, Pizza Hut.
It really was a Pizza Hut commercial.
It was
the truth of the matter is, did y'all enjoy the Pizza Hut commercial that y'all saw that had a couple, scenes in between?
That's basic. It was trending, which Pizza Hut got their money's worth. Because it was trending.
Because everybody was like, is this a Pizza Hut commercial?
But that's how you know it just was not what it was. It just is not. It was just not what it was supposed to be.
Now, I've been watching, Joe knows this because he'll just come up randomly and see me watching reunions any given day. Yeah, I actually really do like reunions. I love watching them. So I would consider myself an expert. You know what I mean? At reunions. I've been watching reality TV and Real Housewives longer than a lot of y'all been born. And that's just keeping it 1,000. You know what I mean? I really did not feel like anything... There was nothing was resolved. Nothing felt like we moved the culture forward on it. I didn't understand what it was for. What was it for? What were we reunioning, resolving?
It had no structure, and I think my biggest issue was it had no structure, which I saw most of the internet agreeing with. One person disagreed, and I thought, you're just here to troll.
But you're young, and they probably, because you got to think their demographic is like 19 to 25. So the truth of the matter is, you aren't even you're consuming a lot of content. But if you're like an OG watcher of reality TV, you understand how a reunion should be structured.
There was no structure.
Clip, talk about the clip. See a clip. Talk about the clip. Go to the Twitter. Such and such from Twitter in Pennsylvania said, wooty wooty woo. And then you respond to that. It was none of that.
But also, most of that structure, especially, well, let's back up. Because the lack of production was jarring to me. Overall. There was just...
They eating popcorn.
It was raw footage. It was like we were just watching the raw footage of whatever they shot. Number one. And then when you come to... structure as far as on camera, that is the job of the host, which for this reunion there was not one. I don't know what Ariana was supposed to be doing there. Part of it, like you said, is moving the conversation along, shifting to different topics, different subjects. Part of it is also calming the arguments, right? Because the biggest part about film, period, podcasts, TV, whatever it is if everybody's talking at the same time, no one is being heard. So as a host, Ariana's job is to go, okay, Kayla and Aaron. Right. Kayla, how do you feel about this? Okay, Aaron, let her speak. Aaron, how do you respond? There was none of that.
But the truth
everybody was just getting everything off their chest. People from across the room is jumping into somebody else's argument, and Ariana's like.
And I mean this with all due respect. I aspire for the level of, I don't even want to say failing up. The way that this young woman has been able to transform her life because a man was cheating on her is impressive as hell. Because the truth of the matter is, she is ill-equipped for this job. There are a ton of people who are actual not even journalists. I think it requires actual hosts. It requires you to have a certain amount of decorum.
I know you don't love Kevin, but Kevin would never. This makes Kevin look like.
It's not that I don't like Kevin.
I missed Kevin so bad yesterday.
I miss Kevin.
Like so bad.
I miss Nina Parker. I miss Claudia Jordan. There are so many people, and these are older people, so I know that they want to look for somebody younger. But let me say this, y'all. The young woman, the black girl, and y'all tell me if y'all remember her name, and it might be because she black, but it also could be because she's good. The black girl from the Netflix episode, the Netflix show we were watching, and she made out with Harry. But Harry was with the other girl that's in the Metro PCS video. Commercial. She would have been well, and y'all gotta tell me. Y'all know who I'm talking about. She's in the show with Harry. She kisses Harry. Harry lies about it. And then it comes out in the wash that he actually did kiss her. But y'all know who I'm talking about. That young lady is very talented. Like, really good at, like, galvanizing people, getting a conversation, getting to the dirt. Very, very good. And I feel like there was a missed opportunity here to watch how many. I was like looking at TikTok on it, and I very rarely like try to see what other people think about things because I really don't give a damn. But not even I don't give a damn. I don't want it to sway how I feel. Y'all really like this reunion. Not
on Twitter. People was dragging it. A lot of people said this was one of the worst.
Twitter is a demographic that requires thought. Because if you can write sentences or even write short, or be able to paraphrase and make people understand, you got a different level of, intellect, I feel like.
Yeah. Because Twitter was not messing with this joint. Soon as I literally said to Zar, this is probably the worst reunion I've ever seen. And then I logged on Twitter, and the first tweet under the hashtag was, by far the worst reunion ever. That was the first tweet I saw when I opened it up. So funny how it's different platforms.
It's different,
because Twitter, a lot of people on Twitter was not messing with this at all. I thought it was
absolutely terrible. And also, y'all, I think it made me dislike some people. Like, I feel like...
Oh, I disliked a lot of people more. I don't know if we want to get into that now, but I'm ready for it.
No, I don't think it did what they thought it was going to do. I really want to talk this thing with Ariana, and I don't mean to make this about her. It really is the symbol of her that I'm really speaking about. How these people are able to just be in spaces that they just should not be, and not because she should not be a host.
She's just not.
She's just not a host.
She's not. She was a contestant or
she was in on reality TV. Exactly.
And
she was on Dancing with the Stars. She did great. She is not a host.
It's the reason.
She is a young woman who walks across the floor in pretty gowns.
Yes.
Very nice gowns.
Yes.
But that's it.
Because it was very clear that y'all didn't even try to coach her on hosting.
Oh my God. She felt like a deer in headlights.
No, literally, like just sitting there. She watching a damn show like we are. Girl, jump in. This is your job. And I think that this is why shows that are far better produced bring in people who have no connection to the show at all, other than they just might be a fan and they might have saw a couple of episodes, like a Married at First Sight with Kevin, or like somebody, you know what I mean? Somebody that she made Keisha Knight Pulliam look like Oprah. It was terrible.
And Keisha Knight Pulliam, and let's keep it 100, is a good host. She's a good host. I might not agree with everything that she says, but she knows how to stop the conversation, insert herself, get whatever she needs to get off her card out into the ether. She still is very
clarify
good at
things. You can't let an entire group of people run off and go off on the deep end about an argument that nobody else that hasn't broke the fourth wall knows what they're talking about. You can't not for 10 minutes. We're in the living room like, what are they talking about? There is some argument that something everybody in the room knows was there, but that was Ariana's point to go, okay, let's clarify. So for the audience, for somebody who hasn't seen, this is what so-and-so is talking about.
But that's because this was not supposed to be her job. And it's really unfortunate because the weirdest thing about this whole thing is that y'all trying to ride the wave of Ariana and it's getting kind of whack. It's getting corny. Like the truth, because she's now in spaces she should not be. Full stop. And I'm not saying like, oh, she could, if she works at it, she could be better. She just should not be there. And I'm saying that because there are tons of people, black, white, yellow, green, that would be fantastic at this job.
Yeah.
Young people that they could pull in. First of all, I'm going to give you one right off the top of my dome. The girl that do the chicken shop date. She literally interviews, it's a white girl. She interviews people in the chicken shop. She done interview Burna Boy, Keke Palmer. You ever see the interview and she asked Keke Palmer, if you could be any object, what would you be? And Keke Palmer said, I would be a rock.
Oh, no.
And I would, like literally, like this woman is so good.
But I believe
and she's hip and she's sharp. And Ariana is none of those things. And she may be talking to her girls on the couch. She is not that trying to speak and
she's not even
find
quick.
her space. She's not even quick.
Like you need somebody who can free flow.
Yes.
Banter, go off the cuff.
Yes.
Improvise. She's none of that. She's very stiff and it's like everything is just a photo shoot. Like she's just
it's like
posing
really
constantly.
Corny as hell because I'm trying to watch this and figure out what you all are getting out of it. So let's really talk about the reunion opens up. I didn't even take notes. The reunion
it was all over the place. How could you?
And Koye apologizes to Janae and Kenny because he went on a live and said he think that the relationship is fake. La da 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 da. Now, there are 30 people on this stage, and I'm not even joking.
I mean, it was
no short of 72 people on that stage.
It had to be people that they brought in from outside.
I'm looking
which Twitter pointed that out too. See, they pointed that out too. Twitter it was a lot of comments that was like, why is it 100 people on stage?
You didn't even need that. And the truth of the matter is, there was so much stuff we could have spoken about. We should have talked about Koye, the backlash after Koye left.
Right.
Y'all was all on Twitter, mama going back and forth. Y'all didn't address that. So that's a whole missed opportunity. We should have talked about, okay, Koye, you was on Andrea's live. Does that mean y'all got a little something going on? We could have went to a million
But
places.
the show was on for 50,000 weeks, right? So the fact that we didn't talk about so many things that happened within the show, why weren't we talking about Koye when he picked Janae and Serena, who ended up winning the show with Cordell, when Cordell was standing on the stand hoping that she would line up against her, and why were we not talking about that?
We should have been talking about that. It was like they did not prepare for this.
Yeah, it was like they got the email the night before, we're going to do the reunion tomorrow, y'all, and they said, all right, we just got to show up.
But the problem is yes, and my issue with that is I still would have had better questions.
Yes. Or a question. Did Ariana ask a question? It felt like they sat down, she introduced the show, and then they just went.
And then
it was just like...
But everything was like, we'll be back in a second.
That was it. And that was pre-recorded. I could tell. That was a clip. So even that, they stuck that in. They had it recorded, and then they dropped it.
But do y'all want to hear my hot take? My hot take is that these people are way too young to be in reunions. I think that they're too young. They understand too much of what social media and sound bites and everything like that. Let's stop there.
We have to stop stoking the flames of people intentionally coming on this show they want to talk about people being there for the wrong reasons, but then there's a whole break where we're praising Leah for how many followers she's gotten since she got on the show. And we're talking about...
weird.
There was a comment about brand deals. This is why you are inviting more and more people to get on the show for the wrong reasons, because now you're highlighting it and you're almost praising them for it. The point of the show is not to get your followers up. Why are we taking a segment of the reunion to praise one of the cast members for their followers going up?
I thought that was weird as well.
It's just really weird.
I thought that was weird as well, specifically because they were on an island sequestered for 2 months. You're trying to tell me there's nothing else you all have to talk about but her followers? Now, that is a product of being on a show that runs every day for 2 months. Right? So nobody's surprised about that.
But now
I'm trying to figure out how in 2 months of content, y'all don't have any other questions to ask these people.
Because that is now a product of any show. And so why would we amplify that?
Right. We already know. That's already going to happen. The moment you get on, you're going to get on. So we're not even going to, make it a thing. It'll be fine. But let's really talk about the content of a show that was filmed every single day. There was literally an episode every single day. They didn't even talk about, I would have literally opened up the show with analytics.
I was just about
Here
to
we
say.
go. I'm a producer. See, but y'all know I'm a producer. I've really missed my calling. I would have opened up the show. Love Island was the most watched show on Peacock for the time that it was running, right? So I would have said that. Then I would have said, this is how many times it trended during the 2 months. This is how many impressions that it had. This because you want to show the impact of Love Island.
But also, the lead that's being buried is talk about the analytics of the voting that happened with these couples.
Oh, they're not going to do
because
that.
There's so many people that don't believe that the most favorite couple was Serena.
Do you think that?
Yeah, I saw it. That Serena or whatchamacallit, or that Koye was the only one who thought Janae and Kenny was fraudulent. Hello. So to me, it's like, why not get into that? That's directly impacting the show.
But I think Janae and Kenny like each other.
It doesn't matter. I don't, and a lot of people don't, and a lot of other people don't. So let's talk about it. You know what I mean? How do you feel about the analytics with blah blah blah? Like, you know what I mean? So
it was just so many questions that should have been, and even to ask Cordell about the Cheez It campaign, I thought it was kind of cute, but I didn't think that was cute. But to your point, I think there were bigger fish to fry. They didn't go through Casa too good. Everybody, and they didn't go really dig in.
But you said something that was funny while we was watching the show, but it was true. When she made the comment about the Cheez-Its, you said next season everybody gonna be on there like, I love Doritos. That's true. That's why I don't think it was funny and it shouldn't. And if I was a real producer, I would have never allowed it to happen, because all you do is stoke the flames of these people who just want TV time, who just want camera time, because somebody is actually going to get on there and talk about they're going to slip it into every sentence.
Or what's going to happen is, you guys are going to think that you're going on to these shows to become influencers, and they're going to wrap y'all up in these 360 deals, okay?
Yeah.
Where they say, even if you do get a Doritos
it's
check,
ours.
I want a percentage of that Doritos check, because you wouldn't even been able to be there eating a main Dorito if it wasn't for me. And that's what's going to happen, because honestly, that's how a lot of Real Housewives, any business that they kind of span off of that is introduced on the show, you see on the show, whatever, Bravo is getting a piece of that.
It happened in the music industry. I don't know why people wouldn't think it would. Y'all keep playing around with this stuff,
and they're going to find a way to subsidize you. So for me, it just feels like it was really poor. And when I mean it was poorly done, I don't even think it was. I think it was the people that they probably just told these people who doing a reunion that they about to let them go, because it didn't even give that y'all do this for a living.
No, there was no.
Yeah, we're talking about Peacock. Peacock, which I think is owned by NBC, which also owns Bravo, I believe.
I don't know.
Or is all of them are under the same umbrella. So everybody's using the same production. You know what I mean? We swapping stories and doing this and doing that. What the hell is
up? But this sometimes the franchise comes with its own production.
Yeah.
And this is clear. I've never seen anything like that, and it's not hyperbole. This is not a joke. I've never seen anything like that. So for me, this is a one of a kind. Whatever group this is, This is a one-of-a-kind thing. And
it just was so poorly done. Also, let's dig into like what happened. We talked about the Koye situation. I thought there were so many ways we could have went with Koye and so many questions we could have asked Koye. Hell, we could have asked Koye, when you left the island, what was your DMs looking like? We don't even know what life is like outside of, you know what I mean? Like, it's so many things I would have asked, but whatever. We move on to everybody getting asked, can they be your girlfriend? Oh, it's just like, did they produce this too, y'all? And not to say, and I'm not saying this, and this, as a matter of fact, I want to know. Bust down in the comments. Do you just become a girlfriend or have you been asked? I'm just curious because I'm just curious. I don't have any opinion on it. I just want to know, like, is that like a thing everybody's doing now or what? You know what I mean?
I just don't know why. I feel there was so much time wasted on small, insignificant stuff. That one of them being the girlfriend thing. Like, okay, y'all, most of these people, this is a show this is one of the most interactive shows in reality TV.
Yes.
So people are voting. People are fully invested in these people's lives. Obviously, we're asking Leah how many followers she started with and how many. That's the one question Ariana asked her. What did you start at? 1,200? Right? These people already know. They already know what's been going on with your social medias and who's together. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is a younger audience. You have to know your audience, right? We don't need to spend 30 minutes on re-showing the video of the story when you guys went out to a steak dinner. We don't need that. Now, we don't got to not when you only got 60 minutes of airtime. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. That's a good point.
We just don't need to do that.
Because all you had to say was, okay, so you guys are still together, hanging in strong. Get confirmation. Okay. That's a good point. I mean, but I feel like we didn't even talk to Serena and Cordell.
We didn't, and they won. And we all know that they're not my favorite couple at all.
And
but they've won the show.
Even listening to it more, I hate to side with you.
It's just.
So let me say this. Okay, this is my thoughts on it. Serena, I think, is genuine.
Says who?
I'm telling you my thoughts.
Oh, okay.
Serena, I think.
But I want to stop there because you didn't think that weeks ago.
Can I cook?
No. I'm just saying. I wanted to point out you didn't think that weeks ago. So touch on that.
Serena, I think, is genuine. Okay, but I also don't really like her. I think you could be real and also not be liked.
What's real about her though? I'm stuck on that. I don't get it.
I think however she presents to me, because I find it a bit abrasive. I don't even know if abrasive is the word.
You don't think that she gaslighted this man for weeks into believing, but long before Casa, into believing that he was the problem.
But I can't go back and litigate.
No. I'm speaking to specifically why I don't think she has a genuine bone in her body.
I'm not saying that there isn't some validity there. What I am saying is the way that she is perceived is as genuine and real, right? For me, I do not know why there is a disconnect with this young lady. And is she a Virgo? So I really don't know why it's a disconnect.
The disconnect is you saw through her bullshit. You saw through it in week 1 and week 2 and week 3. I don't know why you don't see through it now. But I'm telling you that's what the disconnect is. Because you call bullshit out. And you can go back and play it. You called it out on here with her. And so now
Can I change my mind?
No. Because now what this is the swaying of the crowd, right? She ends up the whole thing with Casa happens.
I'm gonna defend her right to be wrong because she's a little black girl.
But that's where we need to park. Then say that. Because the truth of the matter is you don't believe that she's genuine. She never pulled the wool over your eyes. It was never a situation where anyone in this house truly believed that she was actually into her. We dissected the whole dynamic and the timeline by which people started voting for them. She realized that I can win this if I attach my wagon to him. And then her whole song changed. She was singing a different song and now then she was saying stuff like it was always you, which we both agree was an egregious statement to make.
Which they ended up playing and they probably did it by mistake. The whole clip where she said he a nice guy.
He's just not a guy for me. So they played it. Why wouldn't you go into that? Ariana in production. This is the couple that won the show.
And Joe,
why wouldn't you go
why wouldn't you ask a question like, so you said this on this date. This is 3 nights before Casa.
Multiple times.
Where did that come from? Why did you feel
and
that
what
way?
changed?
What changed?
What changed? I would love to hear her.
Because everybody's thinking like, she
a slow burn. That's your favorite word. Bullshit.
He just gave her space to do her thing, and then she ended up coming back around, which part of that may be true, right? But something changed in her brain. Like something actually was
the votes. We called it out. If y'all go back to these reviews that we did, we were calling this stuff out in real time. As it was happening, we were seeing the maturation process.
I said this to y'all, and I really think people are just not used to being liked. And I think Serena's a beautiful girl. I don't think that she's a girl who's used to being liked. Because when you are liked, you like people who like you. You don't even have to litigate it in your brain. You would never be in the presence of somebody who wants to deprecate you, make jokes about your appearance and think it's cute, anything like that, because you're used to being liked. So you'll just go where you are, you know what I mean? And not on no pick-me type stuff, really on some things where I feel full, I feel poured into when somebody is speaking to me and loving on me a certain way. But if you've never felt that, it feels disingenuous. It feels, he putting on, he fake, he this, he the friend, he that. Like, y'all really, it's just weird. So I'm saying all that to say, Serena spoke, the times that she did speak at this reunion, it was grating. It was like nails on a chalkboard for me. Yeah. Because it felt like, and I'm speaking from a space where I can be this way too. Sometimes I can be curt and it can be not nasty, but like unnecessary. Like the whole Nicole situation. I want to dig into that a bit. Kendall and Nicole, Kendall had this thing where his, I guess, what would you call it? Like it was like revenge PORN or revenge corn or whatever the case may be. And
Kendall was a victim of revenge videos. Yes.
So some way, somehow, Nicole found a way to flip this and make it about herself, which was really fascinating because, of course, this young man would lie. I didn't even think it was like, I hate when people think they're so above it. He was literally just outed, okay, with his little booty.
It was
on the mic,
terrible.
Okay? And you thought he was going to turn around when he's trying to figure this stuff out on his own and tell you the truth. He don't even know the truth about his damn self.
Right.
He don't know the truth about him. He don't know if he like it like that, spreading it low and laying it wide, or not. He don't know. So how could he tell you the truth, baby? He been lying to himself. All this made me take him time. And I understand you getting upset. I don't understand not having grace in that situation.
Because it was clear in her mind that it was all about her. Yes, I hard
pivoted to this. Go ahead.
Yes, because I do want to go back to...
Oh, no, we're going to get back to it. We're going to get back.
It was clear in her mind that it was all about her. And that's what made it hard for me to watch, because I'm sitting here thinking, I'm watching this woman cry these tears, these crocodile tears. I couldn't even understand. Thinking, did I miss something? I was also waiting for Ariana to step in and clear something up, because I thought for sure that Kendall was a victim of his personal videos being leaked.
An absolute victim. There is no way, which way to speak about it. It was disgusting, deplorable. That person should be locked up. You should not be able to out or expose people in that manner, and there are not repercussions. I feel like to even have this conversation and try to center yourself in it is wild, wild work.
Crazy.
But it says so much about her.
Yes, and it also says so much that the entire room almost wasn't going to let her do it. That was that was funny and also awkward to watch.
But my thing is with Nicole, if you don't like them, just leave them alone. And I think that's what Serena was trying to say. But the way...
What did she say?
What Serena said was, I'm not going to be with a liar either. You lie to me, I'm kicking you to the curb. Which, I can talk like that too. But also, I've lived more life. So I know that lies are a fascinating thing. You know what I mean? It's just fascinating. And I know...
but that's the other thing that I missed Kevin's presence on. Because Kevin does a thing where he holds people's commentary to their actions, right? And so for Serena to say something like that, I would have stopped and asked her, expound on that. What is it that you mean? Because one could say that you lied to Cordell multiple times. You know what I mean?
I feel like she told the truth to Cordell.
No, she didn't. You know what I mean? There was plenty of times when Cordell had a chance to... if you think back when y'all think about some of the elimination moments, Cordell had a chance to pick somebody else. And this girl, pissed on his head and told him it was raining for an entire week, to the point where he sat in front of the camera and said, I don't know if she's playing me. I don't know if she's really into me or just trying to stay here. Do y'all remember that?
But if the situation was reversed and that was a boy and a girl, y'all...
No one would even remotely be okay with them being together. And that's why I don't like the discourse around them. Because I'm Mr. Keep the Same Energy, and y'all are the opposite of that.
We know.
And y'all are the opposite. Because even for her to do the thing where she sat down and said, yeah, I believe in second chances, obviously, and she did this and pointed to Cordell. The goddamn nerve of you to think that you gave him a second chance when you, for the first 10 weeks of the show, you picked somebody else and he went back to you again and again and again and again. And so for her to do that and make that gesture and no one checked her on it.
It's like she's learned nothing.
Nothing.
And she don't feel bad about none of it. And that's because we are out in the world defending her right to be wrong. But I want to get back to Kendall and Nicole in that situation, because I did feel like the problem with this whole reunion is that the host was in distress, and the host is actually Kendall. That's the issue with this whole thing. Because he could have did
a far better job. They should have just put him in the middle and gave him a microphone.
You could see the life in that baby's skin.
Yeah, he was pale.
Flushed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think he was nervous. And I think he was nervous to have the conversation. And for her to bring up how she brought it up, the details that we all may not know about it, I thought was disgusting as well. It was nasty. It was nasty. It was nasty. It was nasty. And I felt like he needs to leave that.
Oh, 1,000%.
Because the truth of the matter is, y'all, she hates Kendall. It's so clear to me. Because there's no way. I listen, do I think lying is wrong? Yes. But do I understand being self-preservation? Yes. This boy don't know what the hell is going on. He don't know up from down, left from right. Somebody has violated him. He's just coming off a show. He's got all these people looking at him, and somebody just violated the shit. You couldn't have possibly thought your feelings was going to be number one. And that's just all due respect.
And for you to even think that they should be is so narcissistic of you. Like, so crazy of you. And I also implore people to reverse the genders of this situation. Imagine a woman has her private videos leaked, and then she is berated by her boyfriend because she didn't come and present the situation in a way that he found it palpable to him.
But also,
y'all would trash him for
not
that.
Only add more context. Her now boyfriend, a man she didn't know when he sent the thing. So you didn't even know him when he sent it. So to bring up how that he sent it right before he went on the show and everything like that, to me was a moot point.
Yeah, what did that have to do with anything?
I didn't think that had anything to do with anything. It mattered. I don't give a damn if he sent it to him as soon as he got off the island.
Right.
Nobody should ever feel like they have the ability to out you or expose anybody in that intimate manner. And that's the problem with social media now. Too many asses is on the internet.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
It's almost to the point where we are so desensitized from it that we would think that it's okay to put something on there. You should be locked up.
Yeah.
You should be locked up. He should be able to sue you for everything you worth, whatever that. There should be some kind of revenge, law.
Yeah.
Because you people are out of line. Like, you know what I mean? These things, the internet it's forever.
Yeah.
It's forever. So I felt like the whole conversation One was on skates. It was uninterrupted, like we uninterrupted right now, and not in a good way. They just let it go on, and Nicole is sitting there trying to make herself the victim in a situation where this honey is not only now he's exposed, so he has to deal with his sexuality. He has to deal with the fact that his something very intimate was on the internet that nobody should ever see, unless that's what type time you on.
Right.
And then he also now has to deal with his relationship, his first of all, his family.
Right.
He just met you.
Who are you?
His mama, his sister, his auntie, his uncles, his daddies. He got to deal with all them, and then you. Because he just met you.
And I think, the magnitude of this is really, being undervalued in that this video didn't get leaked to just his family. It got leaked to millions of people.
Exactly.
Because now he's on this platform. Exactly. This got out to millions of people. And so he has to deal with that portion of it too. And then, he's trying to live life, and he outside and do whatever, you know what I mean? And so it just felt like this is an insane interaction between the two of them, with her trying to make herself the victim, and the host is just sitting there watching it happen. And then people are chiming in. They're on a choir stand, and people are chiming in from all over. It just felt like a free-for-all. There was no structure to it.
There was no structure. And another thing that's mad annoying, and I want to take a step back to Andrea and the whole conversation about her lives and everything like that. Of course, this young woman had a lot to say. She's agitated. She lost. Not only did she lose the boy, she lost the game. You know what I mean? To people who some would say shouldn't have been there. You know what I mean? I feel like the way that I know that this young woman, I love when women galvanize together. So I really need to preface what I'm about to say for that. I love when girls become friends. I love girl gangs. I love all of that. I want us to hold each other down. But I also feel like I'm a bit bored of the PPG thing. And it could be my age.
I'm tired of it.
I'm gonna be honest. It could be. It could also be. I'm not a young girl anymore. I'm watching young girl shit, and so certain things I just don't get. You know what I mean?
But the truth of the matter is.
But the way they treated Andrea, I don't care. I thought it was Nate. I don't care what Andrea said. It's like as if y'all didn't even put yourselves in her place. Y'all literally undercut her without even. She had no idea she was leaving.
The truth of the matter is that I think it's rubbing you and people like you, because you're not alone, and I'm not alone in this.
Weird?
The toxicity of it all is what rubs people the wrong way. The PPG thing, that y'all are giving a terrible rep to. The sentence that I don't want to hear no more almost is a girl's girl. If this is what being a girl's girl is, I don't want to hear it no more. Because if toxic masculinity is a thing, what the hell is this? What do we call this? This has to have a label too. Jeff, because this was gross. It was mean girl conduct.
It was a little bit mean.
1,000%.
It was almost
it's not
like
up for
we're
debate.
resolving things with everybody else, but not her. That's weird.
It's not up for debate. It was a bunch of bullying and mean girl conduct going on. The fact of the matter is that the videos and all of the raw footage confirmed that this girl was simply cut and sent off the show because you had a friendship with the other girl. Even having the girl say, this is Friends Island or some bullshit like that. That's not what the show is. So now you're leaning in, and so we're affirming this piss poor behavior and then labeling it being a girl's girl, whatever the fuck that means. It just was a lot of crap, and it also was another moment that tremendously needed a host. It needed to have some type of structure. 1,000%.
Because I think that she got a little. First of all, it was given too much of Housewives, and I didn't love that. I didn't love the receipt thing. That's so played out.
It was so corny.
It's so played out, and everybody on there like, yes, girl, you came with the receipts, and I'm like, bored. We've seen this was 2006 Real Housewives of Atlanta. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. We gotta do better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just felt like I want to like them, and I want to like what's happening, and I want to like the movement, and it's turning me off. And I feel like, and when I say girl's girl, it's funny because what I wanted to tell you was, one of my favorite people to follow, one of my favorite young girls to follow online is Clark. I love that young girl. And really beautiful black girl. Very smart. You know what I mean? Just a beautiful, beautiful girl and funny. But she said something that at first I'm like, Clark, where you going with this? But she's spot on. She said, the reason why I can't call myself a girl's girl, she said, because some of you bitches just be saying stupid ass shit out your mouth.
1,000%.
And I am, in fact, a girl's girl. I will actually defend your right to say something stupid out your mouth. But the more I encounter a lot of these young women, I think the harder it is for me.
And that's why I'm beginning to not even like the term, because it's starting to, and I would think if they had to write a definition of it, it would be affirming piss poor behavior. That is how it's coming off, and now the actions are behind those words. And then when you see it play out on camera and you see it play out on tape, you go, this is disgusting.
Yeah. And I felt that way. And I felt like it's a reunion. Y'all could have felt a way about what she said. And I feel like you should. Don't get me wrong. But I also feel like y'all should have heard her out.
Also, she was right. You know what I mean? You felt the way about what she said for what? Number one, you kicked her off the show. She wouldn't be doing a whole round of podcasts and things if she wasn't kicked off the show because you wanted to save your girlfriend. So she's free to say whatever the hell she wants to say, whether you like it or not. And then Janae having all this bullshit ass energy for her, keep my girl name out your mouth and all. And the people online, Twitter showed up during this thing. Twitter showing up like, Janae got all this energy to come to Leah's defense.
Like what? But also,
what kind of clown ass?
But also enough of that. But that's what I think I'm like bored with. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying don't defend your girl or no. I'm saying just shut up.
Shut the hell up.
Exactly.
Just shut up.
I'm saying shut up.
Because another thing that wore me out on this reunion was people speaking on situations and other people's relationships that they have nothing to do with.
Yeah.
Janae did it a lot with the dumbass paper. Anytime Serena spoke, it had nothing to do with Cordell. It was somebody else's stuff.
But I don't even...
Everybody is talking about Liv. God knows she ran her mouth way too much about everybody else. She's sitting there arguing back and forth with Aaron like she used to date Aaron. Girl, shut up.
But that's youth. And I think we are in... I can't believe I'm saying this, but we're like maybe in that demographic where that seems so old. Like I think maybe
that is a reason why the platforms differ in opinion, because Twitter did not like stuff like that.
Yes.
They like, why is she talking so much to somebody else's man? That's weird to me.
Ain't no way you would get knocked between the, knocked between the bedstand and the headboard. Don't ever think you're going to talk to mine too long. But even let's chat about Aaron and Kayla. Kayla got all this energy now, but that's because she came out the joint. They put a battery in her back. The truth is you lost because you ain't had the energy that Serena had.
Right.
And now you want to have it on a reunion. Now, before I watched the reunion, I saw an interview Serena said, Kayla stood on business, right? So I'm like, all right, whatever that mean. You know what I mean? Like, whatever that means.
It doesn't mean anything.
Business. Like,
it doesn't mean anything. But okay.
So I'm like, all right, sis, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to tell you why Kayla did not stand on business. Because her and that man was sharing a hotel room.
I mean, days.
She literally said, when we were in the hotel room, I asked you about the... Come on, y'all.
We was watching the reunion with my niece, and she was asking about the argument that was going on because no one gave context to it. And so I had to give her context to it. And I said, they've had this conversation 1,000 times before. She ain't going nowhere. They were literally just in a hotel room together. She was done with him multiple times before this.
But let me tell you this. The best dress at the reunion, and it's not up for debate, was Aaron. That mother was clean.
Yeah, no, he definitely won that.
Did y'all see that hair?
And then they
took the little brush and did with the blow dry, the little one. They did one of those because that hair was perfect.
But then he had I don't know if y'all watch Game of Thrones. He had the hand of the king on his jaw.
Well, the Kingsman.
But it looked like the hand of the king.
It did, you know what I mean? That mother jumper looked good. All right, I don't care what nobody say. He was the best dressed. I feel like this reunion kind of like, you ever a 30-year-old person and you sitting in a room with 20-year-old people and how you leave and you feel like exhausted?
Yeah.
That was the reunion.
Yeah.
Except for it was led by a woman who damn near 40 years old.
And didn't say a goddamn thing. She couldn't have been exhausted.
Girl.
I know she must have ran a marathon when she left her body
She
there.
had to be exhausted because when I tell you I was worn out, like I just didn't think, first of all, I didn't think a lot of it was cute. I thought.
It wasn't.
And what you get to see, guys, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, one of the cool things about watching Housewives is that people have their own personalities, right? They have their own personalities. It just happens to be a dynamic personality that fits in this ensemble cast. These are people who are trying to align their personalities with those personalities in an ensemble. Like, these people are so hyper aware that they are on TV.
It's crazy.
It's cringe.
It's so cringe.
It's cringe. It makes it hard for me to watch. So when I'm saying this stuff about like Janae and Serena and all that stuff like that, it's like I've seen Zeus. I've seen Jocelyn's Cabaret had better reunions.
I believe it, and I would never watch Zeus, but I believe that statement.
Like, let's be for real. Like, it just was so poorly done. It was like no clips. Then she asked one question and it said, "Oh, we have another question from Twitter." This is the first question you asked.
I know. What are you talking about?
I'm like, y'all, the editing was done poorly.
There was no editing. They didn't edit anything.
And I'm not going to pretend like I'm like this like expert in this. I am an expert in watching TV. And that was terrible. It was terrible. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. It was the worst reunion I've ever seen. And I watched, Baddies LA and wherever, and South and North and East and West. And it was the worst one I've ever seen. But that's the thing. Y'all want to be a little bit of Baddies, a little bit of Housewives. Yeah. Oh, he asked me to be. I was just.
And it's a lot. It was super performative, and I think the big thing that I like, coming from a place where we do watch a lot of, especially if you follow our channels, we are very familiar with a lot of different forms of reality TV. So we do have a level of expectation. Not only that, but me personally coming from the film and TV side in my work life and professional life, I do have a bar for production. You know what I mean? So when I watch stuff, I am thinking, how did they do that? You know what I mean? I'm thinking about the host and what they did and how the conversation flew and the cuts and the shots and all of that. I am thinking a little bit about that. But this, from just a raw standpoint, was silly. It was very unserious.
It was so unserious. It was so unserious.
There was a lot of people who were trying to live up to a personality.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Janae is a caricature.
It's not. We don't even. Have you ever met her?
Full stop.
The truth of the matter is, Janae and Kenny don't win because nobody knows who Janae is.
1,000%. 1,000%. It's like it's constantly playing up to the other girls.
Yes, and we have a better idea of who Leah is and Serena is.
Yes.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
Then we do Janae and ever would Janae. And I would say the same for Kendall and Nicole.
Yeah. Yeah.
This the realest we ever seen y'all been.
1,000%. And I just have a appreciation for the real part of reality TV, right? So everything has a tidbit of production, you know what I mean? And this is also coming from a space of somebody who's been on a reality show before.
Right.
So I'm not foreign from, you walk in the room, you might have to walk back in the room 2 or 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Everything is produced a little bit, but there's some sense of reality, like we just talked about Love is Blind UK, and how for some reason there's a different level of genuine interaction between these people, with the full context of it's still a reality show. It's produced by Netflix. You know what I mean? This was almost an SNL skit. You know what I mean?
Right.
It almost gave like, are we on Candid Camera? Do y'all remember the show Candid? Like, are we being punked right now? Like, what's happening? Like, this isn't real. This is not real. Down to the 15-minute clip of more raw footage of the girls.
The idea that you all will play a 15-minute clip of raw footage of young women, and I mean this with all due respect,
nails on the chalkboard,
who have a hard time stringing words together to make full sentences. And I mean that with all due respect. They're young girls. They out there. They living a life, whatever. They don't need to know how to use full sentences on the island. I'm just saying, y'all thought we wanted to hear that? You couldn't have thought that. Oh, just so y'all know, this is what really happened. Nobody cared. The truth of the matter is, y'all made a situation that nobody cared. Nobody liked Andrea enough to give a damn that she was off the island.
But the truth of the matter is, this was not going to change anything.
At all.
You already confirmed. The people who thought you was dead wrong after the 20-minute goddamn video, they still thought you was dead wrong. So, and Leah got all this energy like she was vindicated, like her name is O.J. Simpson. Girl, no, you're guilty. To the people who think you're guilty, you're still guilty. All of y'all. Everybody, Kayla, her, Serena, y'all all still look bad.
Which is, but the problem is that nobody cared. I want to know that whoever is the person who said, oh, you know what we need to show? The full clip needs to be fired.
No, they all need to be fired.
They need to be fired. It was so, it was so tone deaf.
Yeah.
It literally failed. The clip absolutely failed. They was eating popcorn. I was eating popcorn. I was somewhere else. I was playing block little things.
First of all, y'all, they're eating during the goddamn.
Are you crazy? Are you crazy?
And
y'all just because y'all thought this was cute. It's like the inmates is running the.
It really was because I still like a little bit of professionalism.
I like a little bit of professionalism, and I don't mind you having a little drink because people get thirsty when they're speaking. But you trying to tell me, even Joe get mad at me when I eat a chip on the mic.
I do. You know what I mean? When I play, I play. And then when I'm working, I'm working.
Right.
You know what I mean? Y'all can't, if we're not going to be serious about this, let me go to hell to bed.
But it was supposed to be like a cute.
I don't know what the hell it was supposed to be.
Like, I'm bored, I'm eating pop. Like, what?
It was so corny.
So
and
corny.
Also, Twitter called that out too. People was like, are they eating on the stage? But it was good to feel vindicated that I'm not crazy. This is such bullshit.
But I'm not on Twitter. I'm on Threads. And let me tell y'all how old I am, y'all. I'm so old. I didn't know the difference between Threads and Twitter. Somebody kept correcting me, and I'm thinking like, no, it's Threads. And they were like, no, you mean Twitter? And I'm like, Threads. I thought Twitter became Threads.
No, because to your defense, there was a name change somewhere in there.
There was a name change.
And it all kind of happened around, whatever. I'm so old.
But the point I'm trying to make is we still going to watch our young shows and not care and talk about you little young mother jumpers. I don't give a damn. We did not need this reunion. It was moot. I don't really have nothing else to say about this.
The big issue was because there was a whole bullying in PSA, cyberbully PSA, which was also bullshit. And I'm going to tell you why. This was just the fragile young ego on reality TV not liking that people didn't become a part of their fandom. This was not about cyberbullying or anything like that, or preventing suicides. And that's not what this was about. This was about the fact that you guys didn't like that people not on the show didn't affirm your piss poor behavior like the people who were on the show.
Yes.
And that's really what this was about. Oh, I need you guys to realize that we're still real people and we're not characters on the show. No, you're characters on it. Janae is a character on the show.
She's an absolute character.
Kayla is a character on a show.
And I know what I mean? Kayla is a little bit character. Genuine.
I think, but to your point, I think that's what made her come back on the reunion and not be genuine.
Yes, because I don't think that behavior was genuine.
They beat her ass in the comments all season long, and then she came back, and now I'm new and improved, Kayla. F you, Aaron. I'm done with you. Switch seats with me so I can.
What was the switch seats about?
Because we're 12.
What was you going to knock him upside his head?
Yeah, what?
Please.
But this is also this thing of this generation wanting to be on TV and wanting everybody to affirm their behavior, good, bad, or indifferent. You're not allowed to criticize my behavior because then you're being mean.
But you're on TV. But
don't be on TV then.
Don't be on TV. Don't be seen. Goodbye. But
period.
Also, and I mean this with all due respect, young people should not be allowed to speak until they are certain. I just felt like this, you know what I mean? Like, what is happening? String some real sentences together. Let's have real discourse. Let's have real conversation. We learned nothing new. And so thank you guys so much for joining us again. I'm your girl, Intisar Eleanor. This is my beautiful husband, Joe. And we'll see you beautiful mother nevers later. Peace.